Getting straight into the top 5 news stories of the day. Over the weekend, we learned that President Obama will be sending 1,500 more non-combat troops to Iraq to assist in the fight against ISIS. Now, the Pentagon says the troops will not be in combat. They will be there in advisory and training roles to help Iraqi fighters and leaders better prepare to continue to the fight against Islamic militants. A U.S.-led coalition has also launched nearly 400 airstrikes since August. And the Obama administration is coming up on a very important deadline. Officials say it is the administration's last best chance to come up with a deal to curb Iran's nuclear program. There's a deadline set for the end of the month, and the goal is to ink one before a new Republican-led Congress takes over. Secretary of State John Kerry is expected to continue negotiations today. 2 men who were being held as prisoners in North Korea are back home in the U.S. The 2 men, Kenneth Bay and Matthew Miller, arrived back in the U.S. on Saturday night. They were escorted by a top U.S. intelligence official who had flown to North Korea to secure their release. Both are said to be resting comfortably with family. Officials would not give much more detail surrounding their release. And some sad news. A small private plane crashed yesterday while trying to land in the Bahamas, killing all 9 people on board. One of the victims believed to be on board was prominent evangelical pastor Myles Munroe and his wife Ruth. Now, the group was on their way to the Global Leadership Forum, which was organized by Munroe and was scheduled this week in Freeport. Investigators have yet to positively identify any of the victims and are working to figure out what caused the jet to go down. And last in your top 5 headlines, the nurse from Maine who made headlines for fighting her precautionary Ebola quarantine ends her 21-day period today. Casey Hickok says she will continue to be an advocate for health workers returning from treating patients in West Africa. She says the U.S. needs a public education campaign on the disease that has killed nearly 5,000 people in West Africa. She says her experience will not stop her from returning to help patients in the region. Of course, we've been talking about her very controversial actions all month now. We'll continue to keep you guys updated. We always love to hear from you, so if you want to comment on our Facebook page, always great to hear from you. And that's your top 5 news. What do you got?